After turning 30 in January, I started feeling tired of being single. I hadn't been in a real relationship for several years, and I wanted to get back out there. I had always avoided online dating, but finally decided to give the app Hinge a try. After a few days, I matched with several people, but none led to anything. One Monday night, while watching hockey at home, I got a notification from Hinge about a match with a girl named Rebecca. Her profile seemed real. Photos of her at work, a video with friends at a bar playing darts, a concert pic, and a simple selfie. I thought she was attractive and messaged her. Soon we were chatting about jobs and hobbies. She seemed normal and cool, so I invited her to meet at a local arcade bar on Friday. She took about 4 hours to respond, but agreed around 1 a.m. after. We planned she didn't message for 4 days until just 30 minutes before our date, saying she was on her way. When I arrived at the bar, I was surprised by how quiet it was. Only 2 cars were parked. On a Friday night at 8 p.m., I parked near the front. Seconds later, Rebecca texted saying she had car trouble and was parking behind the bar. That side only had dumpsters and a fence leading to the woods, which felt strange. I tried calling her, but it went to voicemail after 1 ring. Then I got a text asking me to come help with her car. Alarms went off in my head, but I wasn't sure what to do. I texted back, "This doesn't feel right. I'm leaving." I know it sounds dumb now, but I was really unsure. I put my car in reverse to leave, and as I was about to turn out, 2 men in ski masks ran from behind the bar toward my car. They weren't holding weapons, but I didn't wait around to find out. I sped back to my apartment. Later, I noticed a big dent on the top of my car's trunk, like someone threw a rock at it while I sped off, but I hadn't even noticed at the time. I called the police and told them everything. They said they'd keep me updated, but I never heard back. Oddly, this didn't scare me off dating apps completely. I just became more careful, always calling or FaceTiming before meeting anyone. I still remember that part of 2024 vividly. Humid city nights, cramped condo life, and a constant anxious hum because my board exam was coming soon. I lived in a small city condo with 3 friends. We were buried in study materials and had emotional coffee breaks. Like many stressed people stuck between burnout and responsibility, I thought meeting someone new might help. That's when I met Michael. Maybe it was boredom or loneliness, but I found him attractive right away. He was charming, calm, funny, the perfect mix of interested but chill. We talked daily then, nightly, and soon we were dating or something like it. Michael seemed ideal, respectful, attentive, and a good conversationalist. We'd be on calls for hours as I lay on my thin mattress listening to him, but he never showed his face. He said his phone was stolen and his laptop camera didn't work. I didn't question it at first, but red flags started to pop up like notifications. I ignored. The worst was his sudden requests for explicit selfies every single time. I refused firmly each time, explaining I wasn't comfortable. It was like talking to a dog in heat, worse because he knew exactly what he was doing. We fought about it often. He pushed, I refused, he sulked. Sometimes he apologized and respected boundaries, temporarily only to ask again later like nothing happened. The cycle was exhausting. Yet I wanted to meet him in person to see if this was real or just my imagination. But every time I suggested meeting, he had an excuse: errands, busy, sick, out of town, family stuff, emergencies, or soon never came. Between the late calls, excuses, pressure, and that sinking feeling, I knew something was off. My friends warned me for weeks. Each time he dodged meetups or refused to show his face, they exchanged looks. "Does he ever show his face on video calls?" one asked. "Not even a glimpse," another said. I shrugged. "His phone was stolen and the laptop camera is broken," I reminded them again. They looked at me like I believed in unicorns. "Marie, if he wanted to see you, he'd find a way. Even a 10-year-old laptop has a camera. Something's off." They were right. I felt it too, but kept defending him. He called every day, so he must care. I convinced myself he had personal issues and believed his fake persona. Then came December, just weeks before Christmas. Filled with hope and denial, I invited him to meet my family for Christmas. He was thrilled and said yes right away. For the first time, I believed maybe this would work. I pictured a sweet Christmas morning meeting my boyfriend, a fresh start. But the day before, everything broke apart. I was studying when he called, breathing shaky and uneven. I thought he was stressed, but then I realized he was crying. "Can we talk?" he whispered. My heart dropped. He confessed he was a catfish. The photos were fake, taken from an Indonesian influencer he pretended to be. His name, work, nationality, all lies. I felt sick, like my skin crawled. It was like a mask was ripped off. Then, as if to make it worse, he sent me a photo of his real face. He claimed he was 24, but honestly, he looked older than many uncles I knew. Suddenly, everything made sense. His pushiness for explicit photos, the sulking and aggression when I refused, the dodging of meetups. Knowing who he really was made it all 10 times more uncomfortable. When I said I wanted to break up, he snapped, accusing me of only liking the pictures and not him, calling me like the other girls. I was stunned. He lied, deceived, manipulated, and yet I became the villain. He ranted, I cried. He blamed me, then apologized, then begged. It was a full cycle of emotional manipulation in 30 minutes. Then came the most unhinged moment. He begged to stay with my family for Christmas, saying he already told his parents he wouldn't be home and had nowhere else to go. I stared at my phone in disbelief. Absolutely not. I muted him, ignored all messages, blocked the numbers, and kept my holiday peaceful. I had the Christmas I needed, but if it had ended there, I wouldn't be writing this. Because Michael didn't stay gone. I matched with a woman on Bumble last spring, and even now I don't really know who or what I encountered that night. Her profile said her name was Rachel. Her photos looked completely normal, cute. Brunette, nothing filtered, or strange, worked in marketing, liked hiking. We chatted for a few days and everything felt easy and genuine. No pressure, no sexual comments, no rush. She actually talked about taking things slow, which felt rare and refreshing. After about a week, we decided to meet for dinner on a Wednesday night. She chose the restaurant, a quieter place in a nicer part of town. Slightly upscale, but not intimidating. When I arrived, I texted her to let her know I'd parked. No reply. I waited near the entrance, checking my phone. 10 minutes passed. Then 20. I told myself she was probably stuck in traffic. I texted again, saying I was inside by the hostess stand. I could feel the embarrassment creeping in, like everyone could tell I'd been stood up. The hostess asked if I wanted a table, and I explained I was waiting for someone. She checked and said no one named Rachel had checked in. After about 30 minutes, I was about to leave when a man walked in and came straight up to me. He looked to be in his mid-40s, scruffy, overweight, wearing a black hoodie. He asked if I was Jake. That immediately threw me off. I said yes, and he told me he was Rachel's brother. He said Rachel wasn't feeling well, but still wanted to meet me, and asked him to pick me up and bring me to their place since it was nearby. Nothing about that felt right. I asked why she hadn't texted me herself. He said her phone died and she didn't want to cancel. His voice was calm, polite, not aggressive, but the situation was wrong. I asked for the address and said I'd walk. He insisted it would be better if he showed me because the sidewalks were icy. That was when my gut kicked in. I told him I'd rather reschedule and started toward the door. He stepped in front of me, not forcefully, just enough to block my path, and said Rachel would be upset because she specifically wanted me to come. I told him I'd message her later. He stared at me for a few seconds, then stepped aside and said, "Have a good night," in a way that felt more like a threat. I left quickly, locked my car doors, and as I pulled out, I saw him standing outside watching me drive away. Later that night, around 11 p.m., Rachel messaged me on Bumble asking why I didn't come. I explained what her brother told me. She replied instantly, saying she didn't have a brother. After I explained everything, she stopped responding. The next morning, her profile was gone. That same night, I got alerts that someone was trying to log into my email bank and social media. I changed everything. Around noon the next day, I got a text from an unknown number. "You should have come with me." After I blocked it, more messages came from different numbers. One used my full legal name. That night, someone knocked on my apartment door. When I checked the peephole, no one was there. Days later, I found a folded paper by the dumpster behind my building. Inside was a photo of me standing in the restaurant lobby that night, taken from outside the window. On the back, it said one word, "You." Eventually, everything stopped. But I know one thing for sure: Rachel never existed. Someone built her profile to lure someone away, and I was supposed to go with him.